Today's topic is going to be 3 easy steps that you can transform your mental health. So mental health isn't really talked about as much, but thankfully in the last probably 2 years or so, we're starting to see a trend where people are starting to open up and become more vulnerable about their experiences with their mental health illnesses, their mental health blockages, etc. And honestly, I think this is such a beautiful thing because our mental health is truly the backbone of our wellness. And being able to have a healthy mindset in the face of anything, whether it's during highs or lows in our lives, will be able to help us overcome anything as if we have a strong mindset. So something that I noticed in my own mental health journey is the way I talk to myself. And growing up, I didn't really have any issues with honestly confidence or self-worth or anything until I started becoming sick when I was 21. And that's when I started to have self-worth issues and confidence issues, and my mental health started to get really bad in the aspect of I was experiencing depression seasons, I was experiencing anxiety and panic and just so much grief and being overwhelmed and stressed by the fact of having to endure multiple traumas year after year after year. And it wasn't just one trauma at a time, it was multiple in different areas that I was experiencing. So my mental health kind of took a step on the back burner, and the last couple years I truly have learned the value in really working on my mental health and being able to find ways that will help me cope in a healthy and productive and beautiful way that will not only uplift others and inspire others, but also uplift me and continue to cheer myself on. We are our own cheerleaders, and we are the ones that are stuck in our minds 24/7 for the rest of our lives. So we are the ones that will be hearing our voices in our head, our thoughts, the most the rest of our life. And so it's so important to be able to speak to ourselves with a grace and a kindness and a compassion that we would speak to other people. And this is a huge thing that I've learned is through the journey of confidence and self-worth that I've learned through chronic disease, navigating illness and navigating post-trauma stress and whatever I have overcome. I have learned the importance of talking to myself in such a way that I would talk to someone else. And when you really look inward and start to observe your thoughts, even if it's only for a day, you'll begin to realize, oh my gosh, I don't exactly speak to myself as well as I thought I did. And it's so surprising how many negative things that we can say about ourselves just in a span of a couple hours. And it could just be random comments, commentary on anything during the day. So my challenge for you for the first point and the first easy step is to watch what you say to yourself. And by watching what you say to yourself and being mindful of every thought that comes in, it will definitely help you be able to gain clarity where you are on the mental health spectrum, and being able to talk to yourself in a positive, loving way will definitely cultivate more compassion towards others too. So you'll be able to have more empathy towards you as well as others. You'll be able to shift your pattern from speaking negatively to positively, and this will produce amazing things. This will produce confidence, self-worth. This will produce peace. This will honestly decrease a lot of your stress that you react upon stressors. I've noticed that in my own journey of mental health and reaction and responding, etc., is check yourself, check your thoughts, and check yourself before you wreck yourself, check your thoughts before your thoughts wreck you. And it's so true, and it's just such a challenging thing to be able to observe your thoughts and then become aware of them, so you increase your self-awareness of your own mental health and your own thought patterns. And then you'll begin to see and notice and identify cycles and patterns and toxic cycles within you that you had no idea you had just by talking to yourself, making comments to yourself. You'll be able to find those shadow aspects that you've kind of buried deep, but then again, they're starting to rise up in the surface on certain trigger points throughout the day. And that's where you can kind of clearly see during the day what parts of your shadow self like are rising up by being able to witness and observe your thoughts about yourself. Once you observe your thoughts and become aware of the thoughts that you have about yourself, how you speak to yourself internally, like saying, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid, or oh my gosh, I forgot this thing, I'm so forgetful. And they're declarations of I am, and that is such a powerful thing to declare something over you, because words and affirmations like I am, stating those things about yourself, are very powerful. And if you say it enough, you'll start to believe it about yourself, and then subconsciously you will create like patterns and cycles, and you'll make choices differently than how you would in a better, healthier state of mind. The second tip to cultivate better mental health is basically just quiet your mind and be able to really just focus on what's ahead of you that day, being completely present in the moment. One of my defense mechanisms and coping mechanisms that I have found that can have a negative side to it is the fact that I was not present for a very long time. And that was because when I started getting sick, I was in so much pain 24/7, like so much agonizing physical pain, that to be able to be aware of my body and the senses and everything I was feeling and what was going on around me, plus any other stressors, would truly just depress me. So I became numb. I stopped, being present in the moment. I stopped becoming aware of what was going on. And so I just would focus on far things ahead. I would not focus on the now. And towards the end of my treatment and remission from my Lyme, a couple years ago, I began to realize the fact that I was not present, and that I was just constantly overwhelmed, constantly thinking of things that I had to keep doing. Like I would finish something and then I would have to continue thinking about the other things. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I fall back into that pattern now, but I am more aware of it now. I'm more self-aware of that pattern within myself, so that I can recheck myself and reground myself to be able to, center myself in the present moment and not overwhelm myself with tasks, to-dos, stress, anxieties, and just focus on what today has for me, and to approach it in a stable, healthy, grounded mindset. And this will honestly transform your way of living. This will transform your perspective of life and your perspective of others and interacting with others. It will be like your senses are more heightened when you try to just quiet your mind and just be present in the moment, every moment, and just fully experience it with all senses, with your mind completely clear, nowhere else. So when you do that, it will just bring so much peace to you, and you'll be able to be fully present and experience life way more, and the other people around you will be able to really feel your energy and really feel your presence. Because I'm sure and realize when people begin to go on their phones, or if they're just not paying attention to you while you're talking, or their eyes move, or you can just totally tell that they're just not thinking about what you're saying, and they're thinking about 50 other things, that you just feel kind of like rejected, and you feel kind of like discouraged, like that your presence doesn't have importance, or that could be one way someone feels, and that's one of the ways I felt experiencing this. So when I felt that with other people, I realized, oh my gosh, do I do that? Yes, I do that. So, so when I learned that about myself, I started to become more aware of when that would happen, what would trigger it, and then I would recenter myself and be able to bring back my focus to the present moment and what today had to bring. And it's very, very hard. It's a mindful skill that you have to build over time. And I'm still building it because, you know, sometimes I get distracted. My thoughts in my head take me away into another world, and it provides anxiety, or it provides stress, or it just, you know, takes me away. And so I really have to become more aware, once again, of your thoughts, what we're thinking, because when we become aware of everything that's in our minds and what we're experiencing in the present moment, we can be able to cultivate better mental health and just better living experiences in general. So the third easy tip is surround yourself with uplifting, encouraging, light-filled people. Like, there is a difference with people that you surround yourself with. And I've had both spectrums, like really like heavy, negative, just draining feeling of being around those people. And then I've had people who are just so lighthearted, joyful, silly, and just such beautiful spirits that it's just, I want to continually be around their presence. I crave their presence because it's just such a positivity to be around them and experience them. And so my suggestion is just surround yourself with those types of people that bring out the light in you as well, and that bring out the light in situations. Like, each person is going to have a different perspective on when tragedy happens, when trauma happens, when negative things occur. And if you are desiring to transform your mental health and even your physical health, it's best to surround yourself with just positive people that embrace these situations as life lessons and learn from them rather than taking them into the victim side. And I am not gonna lie, like, I've had a battle with the victim mentality when I've been really sick and when I experience once again, when a lot of trauma happens from different areas of my life all at once, I have to watch myself not get in that victim mentality, not get in that negativity, because it not only affects myself, my mental health, my physical health, and my spiritual health, it affects those around me. And so I really try to identify those types of thoughts and that type of energy when I'm experiencing it, and then make sure that I'm grounded and in a better light and a better mood when I surround myself with people, so that my negative energy doesn't rub off on them. And so that is kind of an example. So what you want to do is just find people that are light-filled, because there's so many light-filled people, and it is a challenge finding them, at least in California. But there are communities of beautiful, light-filled people, and I found so many of them just by divine connection, divine serendipity of jobs, of running into people, of meeting people at doctor's offices, etc. And I've been able to cultivate a community of those people, and it's just changed my life. It's transformed me. It's transformed my life, and it's definitely helped my mental health for sure, because having those encouraging, positive, light-filled people around you, they will remind you when you forget who you are, or if you forget any positive thing about you, or if you forget anything about your calling, your purpose, and you just get distracted or get kicked down by life, like many of us do in different seasons. These people will remind you who you are. They will remind you of the beauty in you. They will remind you of the light and the truth. And that is the most important thing when choosing communities that you surround yourself by, because it's the people that will lift you up and encourage you to be your best self that will truly transform your life. And it's definitely something that was such a blessing for me. And it took a long time and a lot of pain and a lot of loneliness and a lot of times where I was just so discouraged about not having, a good core group. And thankfully, after a few seasons of enduring that, I found them. They were brought to me. Each one was brought to me in such a specific, beautiful way, and they still are coming in my life. And that is just such a cool thing to be able to witness the light in people, because I really think that's the most beautiful thing about a person, is just what brings light to them and then what brings light from them to the world. And it's just such a unique experience to just witness those people just shine, and their light will rub off on you as well. So it's just a great thing for your mental health. So I suggest it.